we are back pretty much. Sorry about that, guys. My internet did accidentally go out. So we're gonna probably take a quick commercial break, and then we'll start pulling people in here for a little bit of interviews for their strategy and all that for next, well, for tomorrow night's race. Yeah, so we're gonna take a fast commercial break.
Get a snack or get some water and then join us right back afterwards.
That is true. But I don't know where I was talking about last time, so we'll probably...
Me neither.
I was just trying to focus on getting my internet back up. It's back, so...
For now.
I do apologize for that, guys. I did not mean for the internet to go down like that. It's, I don't know what happened there. It's probably just our internet company that went out, so we're going to take a commercial break. Then we'll pull in Will Road Armor for his interview, and then we'll go from there. Each interview might be about 15 minutes long. 15 to...
What, just an interview? Oh, wow.
15 to 10 minutes on, like, what they're planning on doing for Kansas and all that. Then we'll probably take short commercial breaks and get the next guy ready to come in and all that. And we do have one outside guest today. He's not part of the league, but he should be a great interview. So, yeah. Commercial break is on now.
So what are you afraid of? Those feelings are made up. For anyone asking who is the best, we putting our hands up.
4 more kilometers. Oh, there we go! They touch!
This time, like the last time, I'm moving so fast, I'm ready to ride.
Wonky! Down to the inside of Hoosie's off!
Messenger throws the block, and he will keep him behind him.
My time. None of you people can tell me to stop. Lower the lights down. Hand over my crown. Hand over my heart. I do this for my town. I do this for my crowd. So turn me up real loud. My time. None of you people can tell me to stop. Turning the track up. I'll never go back down. Hand over my heart. I do this for my town. I do this for my crowd. So turn me up real loud. My time. None of you people can tell me to stop.
So we got Will Armor. English. We got Will Road Armor. He's a driver.
English J is hard.
He's a driver of the number 37 Chevy Impala, and he's in the round of 8. He has a shot to make it to the last round of 4 if he wins this week at Kansas.
Yeah.
And this guy was the one that drove with the keyboard and mouse at Talladega.
Yeah, I finished 4th.
wrecked
Yeah.
multiple times.
So, Will, like, for Kansas coming up with for tomorrow night's race, what is going to be your strategy, and what are you going to try to plan out, as in race-wise?
Okay, so I know I'm not gonna be as fast as some of the front runners, like probably you and Ryan Worley. So I'm really gonna try to focus on. I'm gonna try to focus on pit strategy a lot early in the race. Try to put myself up front like that, and then hopefully, as I learn the track more, I'll get faster throughout the race, and then maybe I can just get to the end on some weird strategy like I usually do front.
Are you gonna be driving with a mouse?
No, my wheel is working. Thankfully.
So, for the turns, like, are you going to try to run the middle line, top line, low line? Like, what line are you going to try to run to help conserve tires for your car and hopefully bring that 37 machine to victory lane?
So, based on the little practice I've done, I like the middle line for starting out and the top line once your tires get a little bit worn. I'm probably going to be running a mixture between those two. The only experience I have here is trucks at Kansas, and I ran the bottom there, and it did not work out at all. So I'm probably not going to be going down there very much unless I have to.
Yeah, the bottom works for these cars, which is surprising. The truck's not really, but these cars do make the bottom pretty. It works. So middle and bottom are preferred. The high line is for longer run. The car gets tight.
I mean, the more grooves we have, the better racing. So I guess that's good.
On paper, yes.
Yeah, but also more wrecks, I'm guessing.
On paper, yes.
Well, we're just hoping we don't have many wrecks.
Yeah, we hope.
Yeah, I mean, with 130 laps or 150 laps, you're probably gonna have 140. You're probably gonna have a few wrecks in there. That's
Of course.
inevitable.
Like, there's no doubt we'll have
But-
cautions.
Yeah. Hopefully my wheel works. Hopefully my wheel doesn't.
Hopefully.
I mean, to be honest, Talladega was probably the best track for my wheel not to work, just because I didn't have to focus on any braking or anything. I just had to only focus on holding my line. So.
Well, yeah, again with Kansas, you don't really have to brake. All you gotta really do is somewhat let off the throttle.
Yeah.
Well, when making pit stops, you have to brake.
Besides that,
And to do some like strong turn.
Theoretically, how long would it be in a run until you actually had to brake in the corners? Would that be a thing? It was like
probably not.
30 lap tires or something.
It depends. It depends on how comfortable you feel doing it. Is it necessary? No. Maybe if you're like really gonna pit, like if you're gonna soon, like when they're really worn to hell, then yeah, but just lightly on the gas. Other than that, you should be fine.
Yeah. I like Kansas. I like it a lot better than Phoenix, and I barely know Michigan, so I think this is, out of the three, if I had a shot to win, this would be my best shot.
Same here, dude. Same here.
So,
yeah.
Are you worried about any other guys out on the track that are going to either pass you or possibly lap you?
I mean, I'm kind of worried about everybody, to be honest. I don't know how fast everybody is, and as we saw at Lime Rock last week, if I don't practice, I finish very badly. I mean, that was a road course. I'm terrible at road courses, but I'm probably going to practice a lot tomorrow just to make sure I can stay competitive for most of the race. Hopefully, I mean, with the system is win and you're in, right?
Yeah. Like, if you win the race, you are in the Final Four.
Man, so that's going to be like a huge thing.
But if a non-chase contender was to win the race, then that, that winning in is out the window.
So Ryan Worley told me that Jeff was racing for him this week.
I don't know.
I mean, that's what he's not going to be here because he has a marching band thing, I think. That's what he told me. So he said that Jeff's racing for him.
So then why C. Worley's not going to be part of the racing thing this week? So, like, you can still interview him about like the chase in general. Yes. Yeah, like, I wouldn't consider Jeffrey Price like much of a competition this weekend. Like, no offense if Jeffrey's watching, but like, he's not the fastest car out there. So,
I mean,
Like-
yeah, Ryan would probably be one of the fastest cars out there if he was racing.
If he was.
He got so many votes in the poll. That was crazy. He got like 5 votes in the poll of who's gonna make it to the
That's
round of
pressure
4.
off of me now. That's good.
I got
Whew.
0 votes. Nothing. I'm not surprised.
One less. And Ryan, I'm scared of him. I was scared of him for Kansas. Now that's gone. So,
Yeah.
a huge weight got lifted off my shoulders.
But yeah, if you were to win the Kansas race, you would be in, and like, as you said, you have 0 votes.
I'd be
right
so
now.
happy.
Like,
Yeah, I mean, that underdog story fuels me.
You'll be the Ryan Newman of 2014, pretty much.
I wish he won the championship that year.
like, pretty much, like you could be running for $85. That's if the other guy's going to donate that extra money. If he doesn't, that's fine. But if you won the championship and you got that money, what would you do with the money?
I would probably buy more iRacing content.
Fair.
Like new tracks and stuff, because I only started a few months ago, so I don't have everything. I don't have most things, like most ovals. I want to buy some more like NASCAR tracks so I can race the weekly stuff.
Yeah, like there's no doubt.
And also, I'm about to get to B class, so hopefully that'll open up some more cars and stuff I could buy.
Well, you could buy any
race
cars right now
officials.
as well. So
Oh well, yeah, but there would not be really any point in buying. Some
Well,
of
it
them.
depends if
Can't
you're
race
doing
them.
leagues and stuff. So
yeah.
Yeah.
I just put it in my
was-
bank account. So
I was supposed to go to an iRacing East Series League race tonight, but I fell asleep and I missed it.
Oh, that's gotta suck.
It was K.
yeah, I was
it was
watching
K&N's.
it. K&N at the Roval.
Yeah, K&N at the Roval. I'm in that league, and I usually do pretty bad because it's mostly restrictor plates and I get wrecked.
I
but
know. I'm good at restricted plates. That's why I race it sometimes.
I'm really sick, and I missed school today, so I kind of took a nap, and then I missed the
Oh,
league
that's gotta
race. And
suck.
then
I watched a bit of it. It was hectic. Be nice to Lucas all about that when he gets here.
Well, he is in
Yeah.
chat, so.
Yeah,
And,
but
he does
everyone-
commentate for it. So,
But
Um,
yeah, like it's like at Kansas, like it's not an easy track, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, but I think it's easier than Lime Rock for me.
anyone would say, of course.
I was 10 laps down at Lime Rock, and I didn't
Hey,
wreck.
I was
like, wrecked
70
every
laps
lap.
down.
Well, you just like you
Yeah,
were
I
like
just
I'm
quit.
bored of this, and then
I was very bored.
Well, yeah, again, Lime Rock
And then-
wasn't that much of a fun track, to be honest. It was quite boring.
No.
I mean, it tested our patience and like made it so we could enjoy more exciting races in the future.
It makes me wish. It makes South Boston look like an amazing race.
I thought South Boston was pretty good because I like the track.
Like South.
I liked it too,
South
but
Boston was just a caution fest, to be honest.
everyone just was not patient for that.
My favorite race this season was probably Charlotte because I finished 3rd there, and that's my best finish.
Well, that's when I did the most
Yeah,
flips.
and-
So
I remember that.
And yet again, that's when I was out of fast repairs as well. So
my favorite race would be Kansas.
yeah, because you're gonna dominate there.
I randomly
Well, I was
raced,
dominating Talladega. Like I was up there the whole time, but I kept getting wrecked.
I randomly
Story of
raced
my
with
life.
I randomly raced with Austin Johnson in a C-class truck race today. He finished 5th and I finished 6th. We were actually racing. It's pretty cool.
You didn't take him out. I'm disappointed in
No,
you.
I blocked him though because I had slightly older tires, but he ended up passing me.
But
So you're gonna block some of his pressure tires?
Well, it was like 2 laps to go when I was.
I'm
blocking him.
shocked he did not spin you out, because I would have.
so
I mean, he had like 5 lap pressure tires.
this-
It wasn't too bad.
what track was
at
it? Martinsville?
Martinsville, yeah.
Oh, then that's a thing then.
so Steven, you have any more questions for Will?
How much laps do you think are gonna be put down?
What?
How much laps you can go? How much time's gonna get lapped?
How much time till I get lapped?
Yep. Like what lap number you think is gonna happen?
If I was gonna get lapped, it would probably be like lap 35 if we go green the whole.
All right, I'm holding you to that.
True.
keep
but
that in
we
mind.
probably- I am guessing we're not gonna go green until lap 35. Bold prediction, I know.
Like we
but
could. But like again, the
Yeah.
broadcaster said, like once it hits 9:30 his time, which that would be probably 8:33
I mean-
my time. Then it would probably be.
Who
Yeah.
knows? Maybe I'll surprise myself. I don't know. I'll just have
Yeah.
to see.
It's, I think once we get going, cautions won't have really come out. Like mile and a half, especially like Kansas, where it's
And
wider.
like yet again,
Once you get going, you get going.
yet again, we're not
I
having as
mean-
many people show up now, so
Is there gonna be waiver rounds tomorrow? And
waiver rounds
penalty
do
flag
happen
clears?
until the elimination race. So when it hits Michigan, there's gonna be no more waiver rounds,
Oh wow, that's gonna be
and
crazy.
And Concord, since it is the last race, it will have wave rounds.
I mean, it's such a short track.
It is.
That's an understatement.
But,
Yeah.
so, since it's been pretty much 15 minutes, I'm going to get the next guy in here. So we're going to take another
Okay.
commercial break, guys. This is Will Road Armor for you. He's going to probably go in strong for Kansas, which that should be exciting.
Hopefully.
And then we'll see what else we got. So we're just gonna have a quick commercial break here in a short while because I gotta get it up. So anything else you want to add, Will, before I switch over?
I just hope that we can have a good race tomorrow night, and I can hopefully get a pretty good finish to put me in pretty good standing for Phoenix.
And guys, if you want to see the race live, LCTV. So, Will, thanks for joining us. We'll get the next guy in here and see you in post-race
Thank you.
podcast.
Thank you.
Since 2011, the 1.5 mile oval in Miami-Dade County has played host to the final round of the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze iRacing Series, and 2018 will be no different. But first, let's see how we got here. Ottinger throws the block and it will keep him behind him. Nick Ottinger wins at Daytona. It's going to be the rookie phenom from Canada, Keegan Leahy, wins for a third time. For a series best fourth time this year, Ryan Luza will head to victory lane again. You've got to love this time of year. Let's go playoff racing. And with his first win of 2018, Michael Conti is headed to Homestead. Matt Busa gets his first career win and punches his ticket to the championship. 40 drivers, 40 opportunities. Now, only 4 remain and only one can be champion. Who will reach the peak? Will it be the 5 of Michael Conti? While it hasn't been a career year for the 2014 champion, it has been a fantastic last 2 months. If anyone has momentum, it's him. What about the defending champion? After a stellar season, Ryan Luza could leave Homestead with back-to-back titles. One thing is certain, though, points won't do him any good here. How about the newcomer? Matt Busa is the only driver in the Championship 4 without a title. With him looking for his fairy tale ending, we could be in store for an upset. And then there's 3-time. After a relatively quiet 2018 campaign, Ray Alfalo will be seeking a record of 4th career championship. It all comes down to this. 4 drivers, 1 champion. Tuesday at 9 on the iRacing Esports Network.
Alright guys, we are back live, joined here with Trenton Sneed, the winner of Talladega from, like, if you don't know who this guy is, he always finished second third,
I'm an idiot.
top 5 sometimes. But make sure to check out his channel, SimRacer 2001, if I am correct. Does VR iRacing stuff. Great driver. He's in the final 8 until the final 4. So with Kansas right around the corner, Trent, how do you think it's going to play off for you, and how much pressure is on you right now for this?
Well, pressure is pretty high because, as y'all may or may not know, the family is always watching, and Dad always drags his co-workers to watch too.
Oh God.
Yeah, it's I guess I have fans from different places. They all want
Different
me to do
offices.
well. Well, he doesn't work in an office. He works. I don't know what you'd call it. I guess you'd call it a factory. I guess they make stuff.
It's like a factory worker.
Well, he operates like big boilers or whatever. Molten steel.
He does stuff.
Steel. He does stuff that can kill him at a moment's notice.
Fun.
When those things blow up, it's gonna be bad.
But yeah, with Kansas, you win, you're in. So, what is going to be your strategy to play out for Kansas?
Do what I always do. Try not to die. Got me a top 5 every race I've entered, and even got me a win at time. It's obviously working somehow.
So
Well, I got dumped, so.
with a lot of competition in the field,
Damn.
who are the guys that you're going to want to look out for racing-wise?
Well, I would say John Horn, but he's not with us in the league. So Ryan said he'd give a extra second to think about. So I guess him. But other than that, everyone uses a clean head to race with, from what I've noticed. I mean, everyone's going to make a mistake some way in the league because mistakes is a mistake. It happens.
Yeah.
But I don't really have anyone in particular to worry about. I feel like everyone will race with a clean head, I guess. Clear head, whatever the phrase is.
But once again, like with 6 or 7 races to go, do you think it's going to start getting more aggressive with the final race coming up?
Yes. I think these first... How many races are in this round of 8? Wins the
3.
elimination? 3. This Kansas is going to be... I think it'll be somewhat tame. It'll probably be like Charlotte. Next week at Phoenix, things are going to amp up because everyone's going to be starting to battle for, the Final Four playoff spot. And then at Michigan, that's when I think it's all going to break loose.
Because that's going to be the final 4.
And then and then at Concord, it's anyone's guess. It's the coin toss.
And with Michigan coming up, there's going to be no black flag clears, no wave arounds. There's just going to be full-on racing.
Oh, God.
Because since it is elimination race, I'm not going to allow, what's it called, wave rounds or black flags to be cleared. So if you get a black flag, you got to do it. Unless if it's...
Well, it depends on the black flag,
Like,
I
if
guess.
it's-
Like if it's like a cheap one.
Like it was like one of those BS ones where the guy's not passing, you get black flag for passing under yellow, and they go into pit road and all that. That's going to be clear.
Wait.
But if...
Or wrecking, or speeding through the pits to avoid a wreck.
Well,
And stuff like that,
which
I
again,
guess.
Kansas, you shouldn't have to worry about. Because,
No, but
like...
Michigan, it's... Oh, wait, no, Michigan has a wall. Forgot about that.
Yeah, like if you were to go in the pit road to avoid a wreck from Michigan, you're just going to go face first into a wall. Guaranteed.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
But since Kansas is tomorrow night, how much practice have you already put in towards Kansas?
20 minutes. Before this.
20 minutes. Oh, wow.
I've been busy. Strep throat and school. One sucks worse than the other.
I haven't done any practice. It makes me feel better. Yeah, so, it's all your top 5s and all that fun, juicy stuff. You tried the setup, right? The Kansas setup?
Yes.
How do you feel about the setup itself? Like, how do you think it's gonna work?
good. Like, I'm going to put this completely on myself. I think I'm just not driving the car properly. But after 3 laps, the thing will not turn. It doesn't matter what line I run. Sometimes I can run the high line. Sometimes I can run the middle. Sometimes I can run the bottom. It just depends on how the car wants to handle for me. Which I think is just more me just cooking the tires like scrambled eggs.
I hope it doesn't get tight. That's just not going to be fun.
I think I went 20 laps without just pounding the outside wall.
Ooh.
It wasn't pretty. You know how
So,
scary things.
long story short, tires go out about lap 5, and we'll probably see Rex having around lap 20, 25-ish with the tire wear.
But since there's
Yeah, that sounds about right.
But since we got the tire wear coming in to a factor, like, how hard are you gonna run the car for like every lap? Are you gonna run it to its limits, or are you gonna try it just lay back for a little while and then try to work your way up?
I'm gonna do what I did at Charlotte. I'm just gonna take it easy, and then when everyone's tires start falling off, I'll just pick my way through the field. It worked surprisingly well. At the beginning of the race, I dropped, I don't know where I qualified, but I dropped all the way back to 10th. And when the caution came out, I picked my way back up to, I think, 4th.
True.
So just take it easy, just take it one at a time.
Which that is a good strategy as well, to take it one at a time. But since we got, like, God knows how big of a field, we could have like a 15-car field, which more cars would play into a bigger strategy. But then there's also the cautions that come into a factor, and then the pit stops. Like, I don't know if you were watching the podcast earlier, but I feel like if there's a caution, people are only change tires and then wait to come in for fuel. Like, if the strategy is played out right, you should only have to pit once. But
how far can you go on a tank of gas?
Like, maybe 80 laps, 40, 50.
You might as well
Jesus.
take gas if you're going for 4 tires anyways. It's pretty much the same time. You're not losing any time not taking gas.
But yet again, it gets the car lighter, so it'll give you a little bit more of a strategy.
Yeah, but just in case you have that long run, just in case, you can always have the extra gas knowing, or the extra insurance of knowing, yeah, I can run full out. People may not, since we don't know if they have enough gas. They might be extra cautious. So,
True.
I guess it all depends when the caution comes out or what the situation happens.
That is true.
Very.
So, Trent, what line are you looking to run in the turns? Like top, middle, low, like middle, top?
Wherever the thing will stay planted. Like I said, it depends where it just wants to go. If it wants to run high, I'll let it run high. If it wants to go to the bottom, I'll let it go to the bottom. It's just what the car wants to do.
That is a good strategy.
Let the car drive itself. As long as it doesn't want to plow into a wall, I'll let it do its thing.
But, like, why wouldn't you want to plow into a wall? Like, if you were to slap the wall, like, would you try to keep it straight, or would you want to try to spin it out and cause a caution?
Well, it depends at what angle I'm coming at the wall. If I think I can hit it just, like, dead on the side and not, like, completely destroy the car, I'll try and do that. Kind of like what Junior did in the All-Star race in 2000. But if I know it's going to be, like, concussion levels of impact, I'll probably just try and fling the thing. Not necessarily cause a caution, because I think that is a kind of tad on the cheap side.
True.
But if it does create a caution, then it creates a caution. I think I mentioned this the very first race I ran. I'm here to have fun, race hard and clean. If I make it into like the chase, that's a bonus.
And which,
If I make it to the championship race, then that's one heck of a bonus. If I win the championship, you're gonna hear me screaming.
which,
Like, you boys are like up in North Carolina. I'm in Alabama. You're just gonna hear just faintly this. Oh my God!
But since
I'm just happy to be here.
like so far you're in the round of 8 and you're going to look for your first time champion, because either way Austin Johnson is going to have to make room now for another one-time champion,
That is true.
because he was last year's champion for 2017.
How close was the championship last year? I wasn't here.
It was quite close because we had one last restart and it was a one-lap shootout, so it was like
Jesus.
anything could happen. So the whole field ended up wrecking since it was a one-lap shootout. Three of the
That
chase
sounds about
Three
right.
of the chase contenders, including me, were taken out.
And Austin
And
just
no,
waddled
like
into a
I
championship.
got straight back going forward, and the next thing you know, here comes Austin. He just rams into my rear bumper and sends me back into the wall. But
I'm getting some serious USA and South Austin flashbacks from that.
yes, well, with Austin Johnson and Jeffrey Price and all that out of the chase, this weekend will either decide the first championship for contender. So hopefully tomorrow we have a great race, and we'll have you back in here for the post-race podcast.
I don't be here for that.
Or you probably will be,
Don't
because
plan on like.
coming up next we're going to be interviewing Ryan C. Worley on his strategy and all that.
Well, tell him I said hello.
All right.
I'm gonna go to bed. I am.
You do that.
Well, guys,
I will.
that was Train C for you, and we are going.
Roll Tide.
And we are going on commercial break right now. And we're back live, guys, joined with Ryan C. Worley, a round of 8 contender once again. And up next, we'll have Lucas Cram, and after Lucas Cram, we'll have George Garcia, and then our special guest, and then we'll end it off there for tonight. So, Ryan C. Worley, when Kansas happens tomorrow night, I know you're probably not racing. Are you?
No, I'm not going to be racing.
So, if Jeffrey Price is racing for you, right?
Yeah.
So, since Jeffrey is not here right now, like, what strategy do you think he might play out for you?
Well, Jeff, he's definitely a little more careful than I am around the track, so he's probably going to be more of a back rider, if I'm just my guess. That's just usually the kind of skill he deploys. And then later in the race, he has like a billion faster pairs and doesn't get affected by like this late race wrecks.
Since Kansas is tomorrow as well, what kind of strategy do you think he's going to play out? Do you think he's going to like run the top, middle, or low line for the turns?
Actually, I ran a race there earlier this week in the Cup cars, so I've actually gotten to experience this a little bit, but I didn't notice it till Flanagan pointed it out to me, but running that bottom line saves your tires like a lot, like a lot. Because after like 25 laps, I had 86% on my right front, and the guys that had been running the top had like 60%. That's massive. So I think it's going to be run the bottom as long as you can and still make good time, and then eventually move up to the top for the last bit of a run.
But with this race being like 140 laps, like, do you think they're going to play careful for a little while, or they're going to like try to rush it?
Well, this league's bad to want to just run every lap like it's the last one.
And
Like if I was racing, I would definitely want to on the start, you want to get up front, so you got to be aggressive the first like 5-6 laps to get spots, because then it turns into long green flag runs, and you wait for someone to spin out and cause a caution. So I think early, like the first 6 laps, those are going to be crazy ridiculous, and then it's going to thin out quite a bit if there's no cautions, and it'll get pretty calmed down.
But since you're not showing, you got banned and all that, would you picture a lot of people like going in pits under yellow just to get tires and no fuel and try to play out that strategy for a little while, since they want to try to get the car lighter and a little bit more faster than everyone else?
Yeah, no, not with 140 laps. You gotta always add fuel whenever you have that, because you never know you can deploy like a 1 pit stop strategy versus 2 pit stops. So I think anytime you pit, if it's before lap 100, you're just gonna have to get fuel anyway. So you might as well go and fill it up.
You're gonna need to definitely get fuel at least once. But since there's 140 laps and then it's going to be a long race, long night, do you think there's going to be more pressure on drivers with other people not being there or with other people being there?
I feel like anytime there's more people there, there's more pressure because there's more spots you can lose. If there's 8 guys in a race, you're guaranteed 12 points even if you finish dead last. The more guys that you have there, the more points you can lose. If there's 20 guys there, you can literally get only 1 point out of the race. So I always feel like the more drivers there are, the more pressure there is.
So for tomorrow's race, who do you think is going to be the most dominant cars out there to try to beat?
Well, it depends on who you practice the most, and I know that myself. If you practice for these things, you got the best chance at winning them. That's why I usually can run up front as I sit around and practice them all week long. But the guys you're going to see up front are probably the guys you saw up front at Charlotte. That's usually the guys who are up there. Jeff might end up there towards the end. I don't know. I didn't see much of him at Charlotte because he got wrecked so much. I definitely see you being up there, Russell, just because that's your home track. You've probably spent like days on days practicing it. So Snead will probably find his way up front at some point. That's just Snead. He always ends up there. And I don't know. There'll be some surprise guys.
With the $85 cash prize for the championship winner, which it could be $85. I just got to get word from my friend if he's going to donate an extra couple bucks to the league. If he does, that'd be awesome. But if he doesn't, then it's 100% understandable. But if you were to win that $85 or $75 or whatever, what would you do with that money?
Well, I know y'all probably didn't know this, but I actually do plan to split that up with Jeff because he's running so much of his championship for me. I do plan to, like, if I run 10 races and he's ran 3 or 4 of them, he gets 4/10 of that. If that makes sense to you.
Not to mention, he did spend money on this league, and we're all very appreciative of it. He's a very nice guy, and I wish he was still in the chase. Like, he would probably definitely be one of those guys you gotta look out for the chase.
Well, yeah, and I agree with that.
Underdog.
Well, and in a way, him and me, working together, we knew this was going to be the case. Being marching man season where he was going to be in the chase, and I was probably going to be in the chase, and I was going to need a fill-in driver. So that's actually half the reason we made SMR was so I could have a second driver.
Either way, even if he wasn't helping you out, you both would have made it into the chase because you were. I think you probably, if Jeffrey was just to split some points with you after Lime Rock, you guys would have both still been in a chase, and you would have been barely in there.
Yeah, and then that puts all the pressure on Phoenix and Michigan for me. And honestly, I don't even know if Phoenix is a possibility for me to run. I might have to see if I can get Jeff to race for me there too, because we have a musical.
Well, Jeff is pretty good.
We have
there.
a musical next week. I thought, band season's over. Hey, I should be good to go, right? Nope. Miss Pepper's like, nope, we got a musical next week. I'm like, really?
By the round of 8, that is going to be the hardest track in my opinion. So
what, Phoenix?
Yeah, because of the setup and stuff like that.
Dude, I love that track. If I get to race there, I'm gonna be so fast.
I
I'm
like it
already
too, but for
like
some people
practicing
it's difficult. So
Yeah, it's definitely a different kind of track.
for me, I love water
Once you
barrels there,
understand
but
it.
But with the main people out of the way, with last year's champion Austin Johnson not part of this year's chase anymore, do you think that played a big factor onto what happened?
Well, I mean, whenever you don't have the returning champion being in the championship, it always affects everybody. I mean, you know, if Mark Truex Jr. got kicked out of the championship right now, everybody be like, whoa, you know, the guy who won last year's not even in it, so this is crazy. But it definitely shakes up how it goes.
So with Austin Johnson out, he pretty much has to make way for another one-time champion. And the last 4 people that are going to be in there will be the next champion for the season 2 season. And then the cash prize and all that.
Yeah, be honest with you, I'm just wanting that next time champion to be the number 1 car. I mean, that's obvious, but you have to admit we got a shot at this thing, and I really hope me and Jeff can just pull this thing out, because it's really me and Jeff running that 1 car now, and I want it to be seen that way. It's not a one man team anymore. It is a two driver team, and I really appreciate what he's doing for me, because I literally would not be able to get in this chase anymore if it wasn't for that.
Well, I assume if you win the championship, I guess some of the money will be going to him.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I just talked about that a minute ago. I'm gonna split it up nice and fair. You know, if he runs 4 races, I want run 10. He gets 10 of the money that's earned from that. So.
In which it is kind of sad to see Jeffrey not in the chase, but
he's still in the chase though, in a way, because I feel like it's not looked at that way, but it really is partially his championship he's running for.
But if he was still in the chase, do you think Jeffrey Price would still be a factor when it comes to Michigan?
Oh yeah, definitely. The thing about Jeff is he's so smart with how he races. A lot of guys around here, they're fast or they're good, or they can just run around the track and just be there at the end. But Jeff's one of those. He's smart. He knows when to run fast. He knows when to let guys by, and I think that's something that's gonna pay him off a lot. There's guys like me. I just immediately started liking him because he doesn't race dirty like me. I'm one of these move you out of the way if I have to. You know that, Russell. But he's one of those guys you can respect on the track, and he's always. It may just be I'm his teammate, but he always moves out of the way if I'm faster. It's something to respect.
But it is kind of fun to see him race, even though he has had a pretty bad season this year, with him being wrecked out multiple times and all that.
Well, yeah, that's really the reason he decided to kind of step away from it, because it's not fun getting wrecked out all the time. It's like you drive the 45 car, you're gonna get wrecked. Drive the 1 car, and people are scared of you or something.
There's no doubt of that, but it's that's sad to see him go.
Yeah, it's not. It's just different. Yeah, it's just more so a substitute driving position than it is. I hate that he gave up his chase spot, but he was gonna leave anyways, and then he just offered to drive for me. So I was like, yeah, I mean, I totally need a driver. So,
Jeffrey Price is definitely one of those good drivers and smart players, even though he's no longer part of the chase, but he still is part of the league. So I'm hoping to see him there for the last race of the season.
Yeah, I hope he can at least show up for Concord, because I'd like for him to be there, especially if we can go out there and win the championship. Obviously, our plan is to go win Phoenix, to go win Michigan, win Pocono, win Charlotte, and win Concord, because if we do that, we win the championship. But that's a whole lot easier said than it is done.
If Jeffrey was to show up to Michigan, I would see him probably winning Michigan, because he's pretty good at 2-mile tracks.
Yeah, he's really... He surprises me where he's really good at. It's like different kinds of tracks. There's some tracks, there's short tracks he's not good, but then there's short tracks he's really good at. And then there's road courses he's not good at, and there's road courses he is good at. So it shocks me to see the differences in his tracks. And I think it's just it all comes back down to what I said at the beginning. It's practice. Which ones you practice, which ones you don't, and which ones you like, which ones you don't like.
That's true. But since we are kind of pushing on time right now, but so you got any questions for Ryan, Steven? You have any questions for Ryan?
Honestly, I think we all answered. You pretty much answered all what I was going to ask anyway. So,
well,
just hope Jeffrey does good for you tomorrow.
Yeah, I hope no one really has a problem with the substitute drivers. I know some of them are kind of like iffy about it, but if it wasn't for the fact that I'm actually trying to go do marching band stuff, and if Jeff hadn't offered, I'd be like, whatever, I'll just come and run the races I can. But it's just because he offered to drive for me, and he's so nice about driving for me.
Like, there's no doubt Jeffrey is a nice guy, but since we are pretty much out of time for talking with you, we're gonna head to commercial break, guys. This was Ryan C. Worley for you. He's gonna be at marching band, but you can look out for that #1 car tomorrow night on LCTV Broadcasting, Jeffrey Price. He's probably a good shot tomorrow night and getting up a top 5 because he's pretty good at the 1.5 miles. But make sure you look out for that #1. And next up, we'll have Lucas Crammon here, our league broadcaster. All right, and we are back, joined here with the league broadcaster, Lucas Cram. So, Lucas, with Kansas coming up tomorrow night, what do you think is going to play in as a factor for all the drivers that are driving down on that track for the 140-lap race?
Tire fall off. I think Kansas is probably one of the worst tracks for tire fall off. It's extremely tough to save your tires, especially on the sim. And I think everyone's going to run on different lines. You got to run the bottom to be fast on the short runs, which chews your tires up more. But the top run is the fastest on long runs. So it's like pretty much tire management, and it's extremely difficult to pass. So if you have fresher tires, when you're trying to pass somebody, it's going to be better to do. A lot easier to do it, I guess.
So, no, go ahead, Steven. You're going to ask something?
No, not at the moment.
Right. So,
continue.
With that being said, like, what line do you think you're going to see drivers running in the turn? Like, top, middle, low, or a mixture of all of them?
I think on the short runs, it's going to be more so the bottom and middle, not really the top. The top can be run, especially if you want to save tires, but to start off the run, I think you're going to see the bottom and middle rerun more. Then once you get a long run, like past, I don't know, even 10, 15 laps, you're going to see the top Larson line the whole way around pretty much.
So, would you say they would have to probably pit once or twice for, like, a good clean race, or to make sure they're good on fuel?
What's the fuel load?
I think it's like 50 to 70 laps, I think. I don't know.
So, I mean, yeah, I mean, they'll probably have to pit. If it all depends how far they can actually go on fuel. Fuel is the main concern. It's not as bad as tracks like Atlanta, where you pit more so for tires than fuel, because you're wrecking loose or wrecking tight. But I think it's still gonna be kind of similar the way it's gonna work. You're gonna probably pit. You're gonna see a lot of short pitting, a lot of strategy probably come into play if there are greenfield pit stops, where you're gonna have somebody coming up pit road 5 laps sooner than the rest of the field to try to gain that extra time. But then they're gonna have worse tires as everybody else pits and gets their fresh tires. So it's gonna be a lot of strategy to deal with, more so tire management than just fuel. But if obviously if they make it in the race and fuel, they're not going to pit just for tires most likely. But it's all going to depend on where the cautions fall and how the race plays out.
But without the with tomorrow being you win and you're in the Final Four, do you think people are going to try to be aggressive to get that win, or do you think they'll play it smart, play it out nice, and then have their last strategy play out in the final coming laps, like the final 20 to 10?
I think you're going to see a lot of guys give each other the win. I think, I mean, obviously, the Final Four championship spot is going to be absolutely crucial. And I know quite a few drivers that aren't afraid to get a little bit dirty for a win. So I think if it does come down to it, or 2 drivers or even 3 drivers, to have, to battle it out for the win. I mean, I broadcasted National Motorsports Finish Series last Sunday, and the second place driver couldn't pass the first place driver for 25 laps. They go in the final corner and puts on the wall to pass and wins the race. And that was not even for a championship spot. They're already in the championship. So it's gonna be pretty interesting. I think obviously that's gonna come into play with the bump and run or a dump and run, whatever happens at the end of it. Obviously, I don't think someone's gonna like shoot through the grass and Matt Kenseth them because they can't. But it's gonna be a lot more aggressive, I suppose. But it also depends, because if they can't win, they got to do well on points. So they're not going to, maybe pull a fuel strategy for the race. If they're going to run out of fuel and they can't make it to the end of the race, they're going to finish 20th instead of, 5th. And it's going to be definitely a huge factor in how everybody drives in their aggressiveness.
Do you think someone's going to do a Carl Edwards, what Carl Edwards did at Kansas when he tried to pass Jimmy for the win at Kansas coming to the final lap, and then coming out of turn 4? All you saw was that 99 car in the wall, and he said he was hoping to bounce off the wall like a video game. Do you think you're going to see someone do that at Kansas this week?
I hope so. I mean, that'd be pretty funny. Having a recreation of that.
If you find someone was driving the 99 scheme as well against me.
Yeah, against you. Like, you're driving the wrong Jimmy scheme. But yeah, I mean, that'd be pretty funny, honestly. It wouldn't surprise me, actually. I think the only thing is that with this being a different version, Kansas, of what they ranked, I'm pretty sure this is an older version, or like a more used version of the track. So it's going to be, like I said, it's mostly going on the top side where the fast lane is. So you can't really pull that off unless the second place driver backs way off and crosses them over. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's a possibility for sure, especially if you're in the chase. But it'd be pretty cool to see that happen. The odds are pretty slim for everything to work out to be that way, but it could very well happen.
That is true. You got any questions, Steven? Steven?
Sorry, Lucas.
Yeah.
I had a brain fart there. Who is your top 3 pick for this race?
Top 3 picks. Well, I already know you're amazing at this racetrack, so I'm going to pick you. Russell is also pretty fast. I'm going to pick you. And thinking of who's going to race here and whatnot, I don't really know. I mean, I know easy pick is both of you because you're both good at the track and I've seen you practice. But for a third person or fourth person, I don't really know. I mean, I think trying to think here. Again, it depends who races because there's certain people that may or may not race. So I think if Richard Regan Jr. was gonna race, then he'd probably have a great shot. If Austin Johnson was gonna race, he'd probably have a great shot.
Well, Austin Johnson's on the chase, so
yeah. I mean, either way, he seems to be fast. He was fast at Charlotte, which is the same size track, so it would kind of make sense. But I mean, like I said, it all depends who's racing and what the situation is. But I think, yeah, I mean, Steve and Russell, obviously good 2 picks, and I don't know, yeah, it all depends who's racing and what their situation is. But Austin's pretty fast. I'm on the half. Green Jr. is obviously like a pro, so yeah, he's gonna probably be that.
Well, if he does show, he's probably gonna dominate the field once again, or he might be kind enough to let a championship contender go in front of him just win the race.
Yeah, I don't think that would happen, but
well, if it was,
you never know. Depends if he's hard.
I've raced him. He races aggressive. I was racing for a championship in one race, and he didn't back off. And I don't want him to see him back off because I don't care if racing for a championship or if you're racing for last place. Racing's racing. Don't let somebody else get ahead of you just because of their situation.
But since we want to get the next guy in here, Guys, that was
Oh, I see.
Lucas.
You gotta rush me.
That was Lucas Cranfield. That was our league broadcaster. Make sure you check out LCTV for tomorrow night's race at Kansas. It should be a good one. It's going to be a long one. It's going to be a fast one. And it's probably going to be either a caution fest or a green flag race because it's bigger than Charlotte in the turns and the straights. So we're going to be right back after this commercial break with George Garcia, and then we're going to be back with our special guest after George Garcia. So, we are on commercial now.
I actually, really enjoy dirt racing. Feels good to get in the car, and we have, great cars and engines and things at KKR, so it's nice to drive a fast sprint car.
Couple of separate lines developing, three wide action on a turn two. Craig Kinzer, Casey Kane, and Garrett Pittman going at it.
I think the differences between, NASCAR and the sprint races on dirt is just a much different mindset. The way you drive your cars, the setup, the feel you're looking for. I think one of the hardest things to tell as a fan is when you're watching a race, whether it's a NASCAR race, a dirt race, is just what's really going on in the cars. With iRacing, you can get the way that the track's changing, which they've done a great job in how the track changes throughout the night or throughout the race, just to try to capture it and let the fans play it and realize, like, man, there's actually a lot going on, and you can't always see that when you watch a race. So I think it's pretty neat. It's, enjoyable for me, but at the end of the day, it's actually much of a simulation, and there's a lot of ways that you can learn from that. And, early on, it was neat to look at the Cup tracks that I was going to, places that I had never been. So I think it kind of gives you a head start leading into a weekend. It's pretty real life, and that's pretty neat.
We're back here with Austin Johnson and George Garcia. If you guys don't know who those are, George Garcia is almost won Talladega, but not close enough. And
almost.
And Austin Johnson is Season 1's champion. With Kansas coming up, what do you think is going to play into a big factor with if you're going to race or if you're going to try to show and win the title if you're in, George?
Well, Kansas is a tough track, to be honest, but the high lane would be the most used. But during the late of the race, I might go to the bottom, but we don't know.
So, Austin, since Kansas is tomorrow night and you win and you're in the Final Four, how do you think that's going to play out for like the chase drivers?
Oh, I think everyone's going to be super aggressive that race, or all of the final round to try to get in there. Final Four, just to get in, because points doesn't really matter in this. Because I feel like everyone, if you win, you're going to be in, and most of the people that are going to be in probably will win, in my opinion. But I think there's 3 races, right, in that final round?
There's 3 races in the round of 8.
So yeah, there's going to be one guy that gets in on points. But I feel like it's going to be super aggressive. Everyone's going to be trying to go for the win.
But since there is only 8 people left and you're unfortunately knocked out of the chase, who are you going to be like your top 4 people to win the championship or be in the last round?
Well, I feel like you, Russell, I think will be in, and probably George, I think, has a good chance too. If he can
have a good chance, but it's possible.
Yeah, and then Ryan probably has a good chance too.
Which Ryan?
And the 4th one's Flanagan. And probably Seaworthy too. Both have a good chance.
Oof.
So George, with Kansas coming up tomorrow night, what line are we gonna probably see you run the most, like for the turns, like top, middle, or low?
Definitely.
The conserve tires, hopefully, and get up there, or
Yeah, to save tires and stuff.
and then with only 6 races left in this season, do you think it's going to get more aggressive towards the end, or do you think it's going to get more calm, chill, and good racing?
Be more aggressive. Everybody's gonna try to go get a championship. I'm not gonna be too aggressive, but I'll just try my best and and see.
With a possible chance of $85 on the line, if you won that money, what would you do with it?
I don't know. Guess I'll get some iRacing content maybe.
All right. Steve, you got any questions for any of them, or?
So George, how do you think for yourself perform on these 1.5-mile tracks? Like, how do you think you perform well in these? Wait, you did Charlotte, right?
Yeah.
How did you do in Charlotte? Let's say.
I did pretty okay in Charlotte, but I didn't get a good finish. I ran out of what's it call it?
Fuel.
Fast repairs, and yeah.
I couldn't tell. I was in the air half the time, but other than that, yeah, it's still great.
Yeah, it is.
Did you try the Kansas setup yet or no?
Yeah.
How do you feel about the setup itself? How does it feel for you?
It's alright, but yeah, it's just once you like lap 4, the car wouldn't really turn that well.
Like, were you trying to push the car to its limit, or were you just trying to see how well it worked with the setup?
Well, just trying to see how well it can go up to.
Which probably for Kansas, we'll probably see a lot of guys run the setup easily and not too hard until like the final coming laps.
Yeah.
That's worrying if it's tight like that after immediately. That's worrying for some people, because you might see a lot of people hit the wall because of that, because of how tight it is and you underestimate it. So it'll be interesting to say the least.
Like,
if it's that tight.
I've done it, and like I want to say either 20 or 25 laps in, it started getting a little bit looser.
Okay, I got a quick question. Who made the setup? Just wondering.
Me.
Oh, okay.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, no, it explains a lot.
We were short on time, and we just had to scramble setup and all that.
I don't know, we always could do the show at night. That's honestly just beautiful.
Well, the Kansas setup is basically the Charlotte Knights, which is a couple modifications, and that's it.
Those mods, man, they changed it.
Which
New York is not the same.
Which the setup handles perfectly fine for quite a few people. So we'll probably run the Kansas setup we got now and all that.
So George, let's say you don't perform well this race. How do you think you will be for Kansas? Not Kansas, sorry. Phoenix. Since we all saw what happened in the first race.
Well, I won't be able to race in Phoenix, so I don't know.
Okay, how do you feel about Michigan?
Michigan, okay. I guess I'll do okay on that track. I don't like that track that much, but we'll find out.
Well, since
go
ahead.
I assume that because you're racing, you don't know if you're going to be able to make the round 4. Would this be like a must-win situation for you? Let's say.
Yeah.
I'm going to take that as a yes.
Well, since we're getting close on time, we're going to go ahead and say goodbye to George and Austin. So, George and Austin, if you're able to show up to Kansas, we wish you very good luck. So, guys, make sure you go show them some support for tomorrow night's race if they are racing live on LCTV Broadcasting. And
I got one more thing to say. George Garcia will get you.
And You got it. English. This is just not English night for me. But to make sure you watch out for George, he's going to probably come out of nowhere sometimes, and he's definitely going to probably be a factor in the last round. So, with that being said, we are going on a commercial break, and next up is our special guest.
Since 2011, the 1.5 mile oval in Miami-Dade County has played host to the final round of the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze iRacing Series, and 2018 will be no different. But first, let's see how we got here. Ottinger throws the block and it will keep him behind him. Nick Ottinger wins at Daytona. It's going to be the rookie phenom from Canada, Keegan Leahy, wins for a third time. For a series best fourth time this year, Ryan Luza will head to victory lane again. You've got to love this time of year. Let's go playoff racing. And with his first win of 2018, Michael Conti is headed to Homestead. Matt Busa gets his first career win and punches his ticket to the championship. 40 drivers, 40 opportunities. Now, only 4 remain and only one can be champion. Who will reach the peak? Will it be the 5 of Michael Conti? While it hasn't been a career year for the 2014 champion, it has been a fantastic last 2 months. If anyone has momentum, it's him. What about the defending champion? After a stellar season, Ryan Luza could leave Homestead with back-to-back titles. One thing is certain, though, points won't do him any good here. How about the newcomer? Matt Busa is the only driver in the Championship 4 without a title. With him looking for his fairy tale ending, we could be in store for an upset. And then there's 3-time. After a relatively quiet 2018 campaign, Ray Alfalo will be seeking a record of 4th career championship. It all comes down to this. 4 drivers, 1 champion. Tuesday at 9 on the iRacing Esports Network.
So we're back live with Chris. So Chris, tell us what you think is going to happen coming up to the last round for the championship 4 in this league, even though you are not really part of Bonehead Racing. What do you think is going to be into a factor coming up to the last round?
Coming up to the last round, I'm pretty sure that there's going to be at least 5 people left from wreckage because people are going to be crashing into each other. And well, whoever I'll hope to see you at the last round or the last lap because I guess I'm rooting for you. but freaking
number 80.
I don't. Yeah. But anyways. The whole tire thing.
The tire wear.
I'm pretty sure that at least the rest of the people that are at the last round are probably gonna have tire wear out that word. God, it's so hard not to cuss.
I know.
Yeah, out the wazoo. There we go. It's probably gonna be a really really hard fight during the last lap. So it's gonna be really hard for people to try to get first place because everyone's going to be wanting to gain to first place because the finals are the finals going to be
like
afterwards.
No doubt tomorrow's night is you win and you're in the final 4 no matter what. So if let's say Steven was to win tomorrow night and he's in the final 4.
I think you just jinxed me.
So with the final 4 coming up shortly, once it hits Michigan, the final top 4 people in the point system are locked in and they're done.
Mm-hmm.
So, and with the possible $85 winnings, if you were in the last four and you got those winnings, what would you do with the $85?
Probably buy myself a racing wheel and stuff. If you had iRacing, I'd probably buy myself a racing wheel.
Honestly, $85.
Well, hey, Cyber Monday's on its way.
$85 will not get you far. For
that'd help.
For a racing wheel.
Or I'd put it. I'd save it, in just case if I gain any more money, you know.
Yeah, like
then spend
there's no doubt about that. Like I've seen people run keyboard and controller on iRacing, and it.
I wouldn't do that though.
It's scary, but it works.
Well, what you could do, it's Cyber Monday's around the corner, and Logitech wheels get very cheap around that end because they just go like amazing, like $200 USD usually for a good one. So,
pretty sure my mom's gonna not be able to buy me one because she's basically the person who buys me myself because I don't have a job currently.
Which you should get a job, but besides that,
yes.
Since tomorrow is Kansas is not really how you race the other person; it's how you drive the track. To be honest, because Kansas is not the easiest track out there, which I'm going to say this now, is probably going to play into a factor for tomorrow night, especially with it not being nighttime. People are going to try to push that car so far and so fast.
They are.
It's going to get loose by probably lap 25, and that's probably going to.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see someone blow up their engine.
Wait, it's not nighttime?
No, it is.
Oh no. Okay.
Which probably
Did I say it wasn't?
Probably by around lap 25, we'll probably start seeing people fishtail it come out of the turns, and then
because their tires are wore down,
and which then piss offs will start being played into a factor, and then with the cars going around 190 to 180 miles per hour going into turn 1s and 3, and that's going to definitely play as a factor because you gotta probably use a little brake or just let off the throttle and run the high line. But then there's the final 4 people that are going to end up in the last round, and those final 4 will have to fight for the money. And those 2 extra races, once the championship 4 happens, is to learn them before you hit Concord. And Concord is an extremely short track. It's like a 0.75 to a 0.5 mile track. So, Steve, you got any other things you want to add to that for Redneck or something?
Will you be watching the race?
Yes.
All right, it'll be massive. You're gonna have fun watching it.
I will attempt to watch it because I don't know what I'll be doing at the time it comes up, but I'll attempt to get on and watch it.
The race itself starts around 7 p.m. Central. 8
EST.
7:05 Central, and then 8:05 Eastern. But
Russell's having a hard time with pronunciations today.
6 o'clock my time.
What time is it for you?
Sure.
Because I'm Pacific Northwest.
What time are you right now?
It is 8:19.
It'll be 5:05 for you.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it starts 7:05 Central, and Central's only an hour ahead of me.
We're 2 hours ahead of you. It's 10:19 right now.
Okay. I hate time zone stuff.
I don't. It's very simple.
Me, I just know EST, and that's it.
Yeah, I mean, of course, you know your time zone the best, but you need to know other time zones just in case if you go to another place.
I know Chicago's as well. Just have a friend in Chicago,
so
I know that time zone.
There's just no doubt on what's going to happen, but since we want to try to get off of this stream a little bit earlier than the normal stuff, Chris, thanks for joining us tonight.
Welcome.
We hope to see you part of tomorrow's night's live stream. Tomorrow night's Kansas, guys. Make sure you go watch it. LCTV broadcasting. They'll be live tomorrow night.
I'll probably try to join the podcast after the race.
With the podcast, we talk around for about 30 minutes, and then we bring everybody into the podcast chat, and we just talk about the race and all that. Going into next.
And just all the other fun stuff.
And then we start talking about real life NASCAR, and then we start talking about random stuff.
Russell's bike incident.
I guess we'll have a politic hour as well.
Maybe.
Politic hour.
But other than that, guys,
That sounds like a fun thing.
thank you for joining us for tonight's podcast. We'll be back tomorrow night for the post race.
And Ryan Flanagan should be here.
Should.
Don't count me on that.
So, thanks for joining. We'll see you in the next podcast. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, that like, and if you have any questions, ask some Saturday night. We're open to questions. We're open to everything. So, other than that, thanks for joining us tonight, guys, and we'll see you next time.
Not everything, but everything.
We'll see you next time.